This week on the Stogie Geeks Show, we welcome back Eddie Ortega from Ortega Cigars. And now, quality importers. Debonair Ideal will talk about tubos. Stogies of the week. I will cover an Oasis-rated cigar. Will and I will review an unbanded. And Will's going to talk about a collector's cigar. All that and more. So stay tuned. Broadcasting live from G-Unit Studios in Rhode Island, it's the show where cigars burn slow, ashes fall fast, and cocktails flow steady. It's the Stogie Geek Show. Brought to you by CAO has brought you iconic cigars over the years. Brasilia, Italia, La Traviata, done in a playful nature with a unique twist. Travel to the exciting world of CAO and back in just under an hour with any of the groundbreaking CAO World Blends. Test the boundaries of style with new age brands in the 95 rated Flathead. Honor the past with new classics like Pilon. Treat your palate to an array of flavors with Soulfire and Moon Trance. At CAO, the experiences are limitless. So what's your next move? The highly sought-after Punch Rare Corojo is back for 2016. Rare Corojo is made with a dark Sumatra wrapper and fillers from Honduras, Nicaragua, and the Dominican Republic, giving you a powerful yet rich smoke. These highly coveted and revered cigars are only made in small quantities once a year, so get them while you can. This is a punch classic that you can't pass up. M. Bombay cigars represent the most admired cigar culture of Cuba. They select the best of the best quality tobacco to use in the aging process. M. Bombay cigars are then rolled in Costa Rica by some of the most experienced cigar rollers, giving it a unique smoking experience. The band portrays the detailed and artistic nature of our small industry. Try the M. Bombay Casera, M. Bombay Mora, and the recently released M. Bombay Habano. M. Bombay cigars, where the cigar is a way of life. Every new blend borrows from the past, and the Saga Blend No. 7, it is the perfect combination of timeless knowledge of traditional tobaccos and the newer balance that today's cigar enthusiasts come to expect and love in a fine cigar. Leveraging 6 generations of experience and tradition of the Reyes family, the Saga Blend No. 7 delivers a unique, full-flavored, medium-bodied cigar. The cigar is highlighted by a Brazilian wrapper over a blend of Central American and Dominican tobacco. Available in 3 sizes at an affordable price, the Saga Blend No. 7 is sure to please and bring together past and present. Duran Premium Cigars, one of the fastest-growing boutique cigar companies, providing smokers a portal into the old Cuban tradition of perfect balance and the lost art of progressive flavor construction. Roberto Pelayo Duran began his career in tobacco over 2 decades ago in Havana, where his reputation grew within Cuban circles. The creation of Duran Premium Cigars has given Roberto the platform to introduce a series of cigars that offer the same quality, construction, and detail which he perfected while in Cuba. Brands include the ultra-premium Roberto P. Duran Premium Cigar Series, Bazan Cigars, Nea, and Baracoa. Duran Cigars uses a seed-to-humidor approach, as all tobacco is grown on their farms and rolled in their factory in Esteli, Nicaragua. Rollers have been carefully chosen to carry out Roberto's precise method to ensure progressive flavor in each cigar. Duran Cigars invites you to make their premium your standard. Welcome, everyone, to the Stogie Geek Show. I'm your host, Paul Asadorian, joined on the lines via Skype by Mr. Will Cooper. Welcome, Will.
Hey, greetings, Paul. Greetings, everybody.
What's going on, Mr. Will Cooper?
I feel great. I'm smoking. I'm finally smoking on the show again.
Yes. I'm glad to see you. What are you smoking, Will?
Casada Keg, the 2016.
Oh, I really want one of those. Where did you get that?
Oh, I got them at my local shop, Union Cigar.
My local shops don't have that yet. I'm jealous.
Actually, I thought I sent you. I didn't send you this then.
Oh, maybe you did. Whatever you sent me, I stuck in the humidor, and I haven't really looked at because it needed to rest.
If it's not in there, let me know. Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah. Thank you. I owe you a package of cigars, too. We got some really awesome stuff to send you, too.
Oh, man. Can't wait. Can't wait.
So I'm smoking an Opus X Robusto. You said it was host choice tonight, so.
Yep. I almost went with an Opus X. I just kind of still getting my palate back. Kind of decided to hold off.
So make sure you stay tuned to the show this evening. We're going to give away an awesome, I got a 6-pack of PDR cigars that we're going to give away on the show. There's the picture. What do you think of that picture, Will? Huh? We got a new light box that we're a new old light box we're experimenting with. So there are these 6 cigars you will win. Looks good, right?
Looks very good. Looks very good.
Computer nerd trying to get into photography, you know.
Yep.
So we got Debonair Ideal segment. Of course, we're going to talk about Tubo cigars. And I will turn it over to you, Will, to introduce our very special guest for this evening.
Yes, really glad to have back Mr. Eddie Ortega of Ortega Cigars, and now over at Quality Importers. Eddie, how are you doing tonight?
What's up, guys? How you doing?
Doing fantastic, Eddie. We're glad to have you back on the show this evening. I want to start off, Eddie. So since you've been on the show the last time, you're now doing stuff. I don't know what stuff yet with Quality Importers. What's that all about?
Basically, I'm the sales manager for Quality Importers. Quality Importers is known for, it's a big company selling humidors, smoking accessories and stuff. But not just that. We do a lot of customization projects for just about anybody you can think of. And we also distribute our cigars from there. So it's been good, man. It's been a big change for me, but I can't say it's all bad. It's a needed change. Got me a little bit away from all that traveling, all the events and stuff. But it was a welcome change. It's basically like a refresh for me.
What is the flagship product of Quality Importers?
They have various. They have. I don't know if you're familiar with all the brands, but over the years, they're an established company that they've been in business actually for 16 years. They started with one humidor, and now they carry a wide selection of humidors, cutters, ashtrays, and along the way they've acquired actually quite a few companies. Cigar Caddy. They have the Hydra, which is humidifiers and stuff. They're also the exclusive distributors for the Stinky ashtrays.
That's what it is, the Stinky ashtray. I knew our listeners would recognize that product especially.
Yeah, so they over the years, Quality has acquired a substantial amount of brands that are actually blooming. The latest acquisition, I don't know if you guys know, but it's the Palio brand.
Oh, interesting.
And we're actually just getting ready to, in the next couple of months, to receive the first shipment. It's been we received the first shipment already. We actually shipped them out to retailers and an assortment of customers that have back orders on them and stuff. And it's been very well received. And I think Palio is going to be killer, man. It's a really solid. It's a great brand, and the final product, which is going to be launching, is up to spec with in terms of quality and stuff.
Yeah, Eddie. So when it comes to a cigar cutter, what makes Palio stand out in all of the cigar cutters that are on the market? What's the #1 selling feature in the Palio?
Well, the Palio has always been. First of all, Palio's been around for a long time. I don't know if you're familiar and stuff, but before Sidecar even came on the market, Palio was the standard. It was an American-made product. It's it's a solid. It has a solid reputation, a solid warranty that it's carried a lifetime warranty on it and stuff. So basically, launched the new product. Although we moved the manufacturing over to China, we wanted to make sure. Quality actually wanted to launch the brand last last year, but Mike, the owner of quality, was so stringent on the quality process, making sure that the samples we got and everything was up to par with the quality. It just kept getting delayed, and finally, everything meets the requirements. It's a great product. I'm pretty sure it's going to do really good out there.
Now, also, I mean, I've used the Paleo product for quite some time, and I love my Stinky ashtrays as well. So, what's the selling points for the Stinky ashtray for our cigar geeks in the audience?
Stinky. If you know Stinky himself, he's quite a character. He's a great guy. He's very well known in the cigar industry. He's been around for a while now, and Stinky has, it's like everything. Every single product out there has a certain number of followers that just love the product for whatever it is, be the maker or the quality, and Stinky has become like a staple where, and it's a solid, it's a solid ashtray. It's actually fairly large. It comes in a wide variety of assortment of colors and different materials and stuff. So it does really good. Stinky, we sell a lot of Stinkies. It's a great ashtray.
That's awesome. It's great that you can have a product called Stinky that's that awesome.
Yeah.
Right? What are you doing today, sweet? Oh, I'm selling my Stinkies.
He sells a lot of ashtrays, man.
That's good.
A lot of ashtrays.
That's good. Well, do you have more questions for Eddie?
Yeah, Eddie, it was really interesting because Quality Importers has a lot of products that I think from a cigar enthusiast perspective, these are like must-have products. We just talked about the Paleo Cutter, the Stinky Ashtray, and the other product that I've kind of used forever, and I have a ton of them, are the Cigar Caddy travel humidors, which are just things that I've been using those for years.
And that's another product that really does well for us. We sell a lot of caddies. The good thing with Quality is that, it's not just about selling the products. It's not just about the brands we have, but hardly anybody in the industry knows, but we do a lot of customization work. We can take an idea from, we have a lot of the manufacturers or even people from outside the industry that come to us. They come to us even with a pencil sketch, and they tell us, listen, can you do this? In no time at all, we give it over to the graphic department. We have our in-house graphic department that has the ability to do 3D modeling and stuff. So in no time at all, we can get a prototype going and provide you with fairly much without even before going into production. You can have a very clear picture of how the product looks like. So we do a lot of that, and it's not known, but we do quite a lot of custom work for different things, not just inside the industry, but a lot of other industries.
So with the Stinky and Paleo and the Cigar Caddy, are you the distributors or are they subsidiaries of Quality Importers? No,
for Stinky, we are the exclusive distributor. We have an agreement with Stinky. Mm-hmm. For the other ones, for Cigar Caddies, High Grosset, the Paleos, those are brands that Quality has acquired over the last few years.
I gotcha. No, that's really cool. That sounds like a lot of fun, actually, though, being able to sell those different brands.
Yeah, it's good. It was just a big change for me going to regular travel, doing the events, and just being outside. Period, to being in-house. But I mean, for the time that I've been there, everything it's been great, and it was a needed change. It was just I've done the event scene for a long time, so. Who knows? Maybe next year or this year sometime I'll start doing some events and stuff. But at least the rest came in handy.
So now you're still doing Ortega cigars, correct?
Yeah, we sell not just the Ortega, but we sell the Cult. We sell the Blood Red Moon. So we have, we sell quite a bit of cigars from there, from the distribution center too. So it's not just the accessory lines.
I gotcha. So, but are you still involved with the day-to-day for Ortega Cigars?
Oh yeah. I definitely Ortega. It's all I'm still they're still my brand. So I'm very much involved with everything in terms of either coming out with new brands or coming. We actually haven't we haven't launched anything new lately because I'm just doing like a reset. I figure there's enough blends out there, and everybody's coming out with so much new stuff that they're not missing me so much. But this year, sometime we'll have a couple of little things coming out.
Yeah. So what has been some of the newest releases since you've been on the show?
Actually, nothing. I mean, because since I've been on the show, not long after is when I started with Quality Importers and stuff. But I have a couple of things in the works. Hopefully, we'll have it all for IPCPR. But like I said, I mean, there's just such an abundance of brands and limited editions and cigars out there that I think it's just crazy. So and lately, I think things have slowed down drastic, like quite a bit. I don't know if everybody's just waiting to see what the final outcome of the FDA ruling is going to be and stuff. But I think it's slowed down a little bit. But there's plenty of new brands coming out on a regular basis.
Hey, what things have you been smoking lately that you really like?
I smoke everything. I still smoke. I mean, my number one go-to is I still smoke a lot of the Series D number 7s, the number 8s, on the Maduro, the naturals. I've been smoking a nice Maduro that we're going to be launching. It's the M3. Aside from that, I'm still smoking. I still smoke plenty of Olivas. I smoke some of the Blood Red Moon, which is my favorite from the lines that Quality has. Hold on.
I'm going to stop right there. What is the name of that brand? I'm not familiar with it.
Blood Red Moon.
Blood Red Moon.
Yeah.
So tell me about that brand. Where's the tobaccos from? What kind of cigars they make?
It's a nice. It's made in Nicaragua, in Esteli. It's a nice blend. I mean, it's a nice medium body smoke, and you haven't heard much about it yet because it's just taking off now and stuff. But it's part of the family, the Quality family of brands, and it's just now getting out. Starting to get out there more. But it's a slow, just like even my own products selling from in-house. Everything slows down a bit because of the sales formula right now for the industry is just so unbalanced in terms of if you're not out there doing events and selling at the store level, it's just it slows down quite a bit. But I'd much rather be working selling it from in-house than just traveling all over the place, and selling at the event level. So
it is very much a hand-sold product still today.
Unfortunately, but what happens is that I'm pretty sure, and I know for a fact that many of the manufacturers, I'm pretty sure everybody's saying right now, I wish we hadn't created this monster. Because what happens is you gotta, if every time you sell a box of cigars, you gotta go out and fly somewhere and do an event and hand out swag and spend a ton of money selling that box of cigars, it elevates the costs of selling that box of cigars, along with all the other costs associated with raw materials, just keep going up. So it ends up it's quite a feat, unless you're selling a ton of cigars, you can find yourself a little cash strap and stuff.
And it's got to be tiring, Eddie. I mean, we talk about the events being fun and stuff, but I mean, I do travel on my day job to some extent, but there's got. I mean, I've seen the schedule you were keeping up, and that's got to just take its toll on you after a while.
Well, it does. I mean, there's not one single manufacturer that it's not tired, doesn't get tired of the events. After you do them for a while, it just gets. I mean, the road gets tiring. That's the bottom line. I mean, it's fun at the beginning and stuff, but after you do it, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years, I mean, it wears you out. 100%, man. 100%.
So in terms of now Ortega Cigars, the model in terms of has changed now to quality importers being the sales force. How have you kind of adjusted, like keeping your retailers stocked with Ortega Cigars right now? Because it is a different model now as opposed to you showing up at the stores like it used to be.
Well, we still, we still distribute the same way. Basically, the only thing that has changed is the having to go out and do events. I'm not out on the road as much, and naturally, maybe the brand slows down a bit at the retail level because, like I said, unfortunately, the industry has turned into an event-driven sales model where if you want to sell cigars, you have to. You're forced to be out there doing events. So you gotta everyone has to pick what their best formula is in terms of how they want to build their brands and stuff. But I just think that, and I know that everyone is kicking themselves in the butt for having built the sales, the event driven sales, the formula for success in terms of selling the cigars in the store, for having gone that way as opposed to maybe offering a little less support in terms of just traveling around doing all sorts of crazy events everywhere.
Yeah. The other thing we talked about when you were on the show last time was the whole longevity of a brand and the idea that a brand, brands now, it's the limited model, the short shelf lives for some of these brands. And I guess this is just making me think, putting the event model on top of that when a brand isn't going to have a long lifespan like we would expect it to, it's not good business sense. I kind of get what you're saying.
Of course not, man. What was the last Partagas you saw created? What was the last Macanudo you saw created? Where was the last Punch you saw created? I mean, those brands were around for years and years and years, and now you see them at the retail level where they've lost all that traction. And I got to say, like in the last 5, 6, 7 years, there hasn't been any brand like that. I mean, there's no brands being created just because what sold 6 months ago doesn't sell anymore. So we move on to the next product because that's what the consumer wants, and the retailer has to oblige and carry what the customers come in and ask for. But it just, as brands go, I mean, just think about it. All you got to do is just think about it. I mean, there's no, the brands are just not being created. 100%, they're not being created anymore.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So, Eddie, do you see the larger brands prevailing when we look at their crystal balls 5 years out, and a lot of these smaller brands either being consolidated in the larger ones or just going away completely?
It all, a big. It'll all depend on what the FDA regulations bring out. In my opinion, that'll have a lot to do with what happens over the next 1 or 2 years in the market. So the FDA regulations are going to dictate what happens, but that's going to have a big impact for sure.
Mm. Do you have a positive outlook on what's going to happen with FDA, or not so much, or somewhere in the middle?
Depending on who you talk to, I stay abreast of what's going on and stuff. I'm not, like maybe, on a day-to-day basis and stuff, but I try to keep up with what's going on. And really nobody seems to know. Mm-hmm. Everybody might have an idea, but nobody seems to know exactly what's going to happen. I mean, everybody's just pending. From what I hear, any day now, it could be this month, next month, next week. The FDA is expected to come out with the regulations. So I guess we're all waiting.
How do you think that the FDA regulations are going to impact consumers? I mean, and that's a big thing for us, right? I mean, our show is primarily for the consumers of cigars. Do you think that's going to make them smoke less, more, or it's not going to really impact them?
That's not going to impact. It's not going to impact the consumer. It's definitely going to impact the manufacturers, but not the consumers.
There's still going to be a demand to smoke cigars, regardless of how the FDA wants to regulate it. People are still going to want to smoke cigars. New cigar smokers are still going to want to get into cigars, regardless of how they're regulated, right?
Yeah, that's definitely the FDA regulations are not going to affect the consumer, I think, one bit, but it is going to affect everything else.
Well, it could affect the price for the consumers.
It could affect the price for the consumer, but regardless, you still, when it comes to price, you're still going to have, because of the internet and having such pricing, wars out there, and I mean the discount. You're always going to have cigars at affordable prices.
Yeah,
maybe not at the retail level because of the internet, business.
It's going to impact the brick and mortar stores.
It's going to, if anything, it'll impact the brick and mortar. So unfortunately, those are the ones that always get hurt. But for sure, the manufacturing end is going to bear the brunt of it.
Interesting. Will, more questions for Eddie?
Eddie, in terms of, we hear a lot about obviously the small cigar makers with the FDA coming down. What in terms of the accessory business? How's that kind of impacting the accessory business?
No, in terms of the FDA, we don't see any impact of that. Of course, depending on what happens, or what regulations the FDA, whether you want to or not, both industries are, intermingled. I mean, they relate to each other. But the only, like I said before, FDA regulations are not going to affect the cigar smoker. I don't think there'll be a decrease of people, just dropping out and not smoking anymore, because in reality it has nothing to do with the consumer. But so in terms of accessories and humidors and stuff, I just don't think they're going to be affected at all.
That's good for you. That's very good for you then, obviously.
Yeah, as long as I stay selling humidors and stuff, as long as I don't start traveling and doing the shows and stuff again. But this year I'll plan. I'll see what the strategies wants to be. Ideally you'd be able to sell cigars to stores. Just, everything will go smoothly, and you wouldn't have to actually go out to the stores and have to sell the cigars. But the FDA regulations might end up helping on that end, because if the regulations come out and they're created in a way that it's going to make it really, really hard for entry to the market, I'm pretty sure it's gonna affect anybody that's either launching new brands or anybody thinking about coming into the business. So in that sense, it might be better off. It's like everything, and this country has always been through that. I mean, even in the old times when the tycoons that built America, it was always the same. The big honchos in industry always clean out the market from smaller competitors in order to take a bigger piece of the pie. So unfortunately, that's what happens, and that it's business. But if you make it hard to get into the business and make it quite a bit expensive for anyone to be able to launch another brand, it's gonna clean the market. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of scary for me to think about that happening to cigars, because we interview and interact with so many smaller boutique and that word carries a lot of meaning, or not a lot of meaning, depending on who you talk to. But we interview a lot of people who are very passionate about cigars, come out with their own brand, and can do that because it's a free market. And for me to think about that being impacted is it's sad for me because I'm a supporter of that free market, especially when it comes to cigars, that I think we should be allowed to bring our cigars to market and have someone who is very passionate about that and do that and bring these, smaller runs or limited cigars or smaller companies. And who knows, they could become the next big company. So to have the FDA come out with these regulations and have it impact that aspect of the business is very sad for me.
Well, I can tell you that's one of the biggest, from the people that I talk to, again, depending, because nobody really knows what the regulation is going to state, but that's one of the biggest concern, basically, of the people that I talk to. That's one of the things that is coming. It's just going to make entry to market quite a bit harder than it is right now, and a bit longer, where you won't just be able to repackage or relabel and just come out with anything you want. If you would have to go through certain restrictions and applications and stuff that are going to be very expensive and are going to be lengthy. So it's going to definitely limit the number of people that will just be able to just come in and start selling cigars.
Here's the optimist in me. When environmental factors change in a market, I like to see innovation take over. So I like to see people solving that problem and serving that need. So I want to see like an incubator for smaller cigar companies, right? I want to see a larger company reach out to all the people that are doing these like super really cool blends and working with tobacco and are really passionate, help them as almost like a startup incubator and help them go through the process and bring their cigars to market. That's what I would like to see come out of this, whole thing. Like, yeah, it's going to be harder, but having that collaboration and having that, cigar incubator would be awesome.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're in an industry, tobacco and alcohol. We don't get much help.
Yeah.
There's restrictions. Every which way you turn, it seems there's restrictions. We can't do anything online. We can't advertise. You can't. I mean, it's just it's such a limited industry in terms of what you want to do and how you can build stuff out there. It's just, it's hard. It's just, they make it a lot. The regulations just make everything so much harder. It's crazy. So, but the only way you have is doing it the way we've been doing it, which is basically having that physical contact with all the retailers and the consumers and going out there. Because aside from that, you can't do anything. I mean, you can't market anywhere. So they just make it really hard. Tobacco is really hard.
Well, and then I think what that does is, as we see more regulation in industries like tobacco and alcohol, we see the underground trade happening, right? And we saw that at its peak during Prohibition, the underground trade was booming because there was so much regulation. I can see that happening in cigars as well. As there's more regulation, now we see a lot more of this underground trading, a lot more of the forums and people ordering from other countries and trading and that kind of thing happening as we see more regulation, which I don't know, it's good, bad, or indifferent, but I think it's just a natural progression. As regulation increases, you see a lot more of that underground trade.
100%, man. I mean, listen, especially in the age we live right now, because of the internet, just making everything so much information is so readily available that I mean, for God's sake, you go on the black web and you can get if you can get heroin and you can get anything in these forums.
Well, that's like the whole Silk Road. I don't know if you've seen the story about the Silk Road, right? I mean, I can see the Silk Road for cigars being created. If regulation goes off the charts, I can totally see that. And we've already seen some of that stuff going on in cigars today. I talk to people all the time. I've personally done it myself. We do a lot of trading in cigars, a lot of the underground things. We find where, while Facebook won't let you take out an ad on cigars, like you said, they're very restrictive with their tobacco regulations. If you create a group, you can totally buy, sell, and trade cigars in a Facebook group. That's totally fine, right? So I think a lot of it, you're going to see the surge in underground stuff like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, in terms of the consumers, It's not gonna affect you guys one way or another. The only effect is gonna be that you won't have that many new brands to be tasting and coming out and stuff. But for the manufacturer, it's definitely gonna be tough. We're just waiting, man. There's nothing else we can do.
Will, more questions for Eddie?
Yeah, Eddie, I remember kind of last year you were on social media was sharing the possibility of Rio and Vibe coming back. Are they still in the works?
Yeah, actually, yeah. Rio is getting we actually did a deal with Cigars International. They're gonna have Rio. They're gonna be the exclusive resellers of Rio. We did an awesome blend for them. That's gonna be launching soon, and then sometime this year I'm gonna be putting out a little project with Reviving Vibe, along with another project that I'm working on and stuff. So yeah, those two are definitely coming back.
Yeah, and those are old. Just from what I remember, they're old EO cigars.
Yeah, man. Two old brands. They were around for a while.
Now, Rio was the broadleaf.
Rio was the broadleaf. Yeah.
Okay. I sometimes get the two mixed up.
Yeah.
Excellent. And how about, in terms of Ortega Series D Black, Heavy Duty? I mean, so those are cigars you're continuing to make right now? Yeah. They're actually doing good. You might not see them at the retail level as much as before, just simply because they're not new. Regardless how you speak to consumers, like I said, it's got nothing to do with. It's just everything has to do with. It's not new. What's new? I mean, that's like the biggest the biggest question I get asked, like, what's new? And I'm going like, listen, this cigar is only 6 months old. It's still like fairly new to me. But we're building a lot. We do Cigars International does really well with it. The boys at Atlantic have it. So I'm building more. If I can build along those lines, more, that's just fine with me. So I'm working. I'm working on what I'm going to end up doing in 2016. Excellent.
So, Eddie, the last time you were on the show, you answered 5 questions with the Stogie Geeks.
Yep.
So we have a new kind of like 5 questions redo that we ask guests who have answered the original 5 questions. So you ready to answer 5 more questions with the Stogie Geeks?
Okay, I'm all set, man. This is like Jimmy Kimmel Live.
That's right. What's one thing about you that most people do not know?
Most people do not know. I'm Cuban.
Well, I think a lot of people know that, but we'll let it slide. Eddie, choose a song that, in your opinion, best represents one of the following. Either A, your life, or B, one you would play to get pumped up, or C, the best breakup song in your opinion.
Vive, represents my life. Vive la vida loca, Ricky Martin, I guess.
Nice. Good choice. It's a good choice. Very fitting. Very fitting. Eddie, as most people know, the popular game of Ask Grabby Grabby is played with teams of 3. Choose 2 people other than yourself to represent your team in the popular game of Ask Grabby Grabby.
Jennifer Lopez. Can that be?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Jennifer Lopez and Skip Martin.
Skip gets picked a lot.
He does. He's like he's a professional Ask Grabby Grabby player.
He's on next week, so he's gonna have.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
If you could have dinner with one person other than those you chose to be your parents the last time you were on the show, who would it be and why? Alive or dead, fiction or nonfiction?
I wouldn't mind hanging out with Carlitos Fuentes, just grabbing dinner over there. When I went to the Dominican and I went to see the Opus Farms, I don't know if you guys have ever been there.
No, I'd love to go.
That's like the most beautiful place in the world, man.
Nice.
That was like the most beautiful. I've been in the cigar industry for the longest time, and that was like the most beautiful place I've ever been to.
Wow.
outside of the career that you chose or the career that chose you, if you could choose anything, what would be your fantasy career or job?
Probably NASCAR driver.
That's a good answer. That's a pretty cool job. Well, Eddie, as always, it's wonderful having you here on the Stogie Geek Show. Thank you very much for joining us this evening, and we hope to be talking to you soon.
Thank you for having me, guys. Have a great time. Very enjoyable, man.
Awesome.
Thanks, Eddie. Eddie,
Thanks
you
so
look
much,
great,
Eddie.
you look great, by the way.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Did you lose weight?
I'm all pumped up, buddy.
No.
Have a good night, Eddie.
Take
Stay
care.
tuned. We'll be right back with Debonair Ideal.
Later, man.
Take care.